Hello and welcome back to my office. And it's been a while, and I'm back now, back ready to get into the vlogging again. I had a really busy last couple of weeks, and I'm really excited to tell you all about it. This will be an extended edition of the vlog, so hope that you're ready. And I'll tell you all about what it's going to be about in the description. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't want to sit through 10 minutes of this, then I can put it right down on the bottom and let you know which parts I'm going to talk about and what I'm going to talk about. So I've been having a really great time here in Sheridan, and I just got back the other day from a brass quintet gig. And I know I've talked about this before, but the importance of chamber groups in the college setting for events that the college is going to be represented at. I don't think I said that quite right, but events at which the college will be represented. I guess that's a little bit better. So this would be this was a governor coming into the VA Veterans Association, and there's a VA hospital here, and they had a lot of members of the VA committees, and the governor and his wife was there and all this stuff. And what they wanted was some music for the brass quintet to play, while the color guard came in, presented the colors, we did the Star Spangled Banner, and then played a little bit of music as they're marching out. Now, the visibility of the college is really important, and in this case we had 6 players who were going to be playing. There's a brass sextet at this point, and the idea was to be able to play something, and what we had was an Armed Forces medley, which had all of the 5 forces, and we were going to play a bit when they came in, and we did the Star Spangled Banner a bit when they came out. The reason that we have that in the folder is because we want to be able to play at events like this. So if you have chamber groups, it's very important to have music in the folder that can be used not only for concert performances, but for events like this that can be ready to go. We've been practicing this and had it kind of ready because you always need Armed Forces stuff. Just like you always need some swing stuff, you always need some kind of pop type music, you always need some marches, and you also need like the Ewald Quintet or something, which is a concert quintet. We're also working on an American in Paris, which is another concert quintet piece. Those aren't pieces that we would play at these kind of receptions, but we've got probably 100 pieces in our brass quintet folder, and I'd say probably, I don't know, 60% of them are pieces that we can play at smaller gatherings. So we have like Dixieland tunes or swing tunes like Tuxedo Junction or Satin Doll or something like that. We have some fanfare tunes, some Gabrielli tunes, which are like little antiphonal style pieces, they're very short. We have little marches, things that people would want to hear at these types of gatherings. We also have Christmas songs, which is really important, our holiday season songs. We've got a whole lot of them. And they're not hard, which is also really important, because when you want to put something together, someone calls and says, yeah, we want some holiday tunes next week. You're like, okay, well, we can put that together. Oh, yeah, we want to do the Star Spangled Banner and Amazing Grace, and we want to do the Armed Forces Salute. No problem, because it's easy. It's very important in your chamber groups to have pieces of music that can represent the college well, that will sound good almost immediately and in any situation. I say that because it might be cold, might be hot, you don't want to do anything that's too high or too low or puts a lot of stress on the players, but will sound good immediately and represent the college well. So I'd really recommend that in all of your chamber groups, whether it be brass quintet or woodwind quintet, or if you've got flute choir or a clarinet choir or something, make sure that they have pieces of music that can be played in a situation that's kind of any situation rather, where it's easy, it sounds good, and it's something people will recognize. So just a little bit of thought on that. Alright, next. In the last couple of weeks I played with the Wyoming Symphony Orchestra and the Eugene Ballet. And the Eugene Ballet from Oregon was coming down doing a tour, and they've been doing Swan Lake, which those of you, I think I talked a little bit about this, it's about 2 hours of music, and if you ever have a chance to go and see a ballet, go and sit up front, because the idea behind ballet, of course, is that you're supposed to be looking really graceful, but it's an amazingly athletic activity. they had the orchestra sitting in front of the stage. There was no pit, so we sat in front of the stage, and the trumpet section sat right in front of the stage. So you could always hear, you weren't facing the stage, but you could hear what was going on behind you. And the thing that I find the most incredible about ballet is that they do this thing, they look all beautiful and graceful, and it's going to be, oh, this is so nice. And then they finish, and then it's like they breathe their, like they're running a marathon. And it's an incredible athletic activity. Secondly, ballet with live music is really something special. Oftentimes they'll have ballet that's done with a tape, and there's a certain amount of intensity, I believe, that's lost when you're doing with recorded music. Of course, you can't always have a full orchestra, but if you ever have a chance to go and see a full orchestra doing any kind of a ballet production, go, because it's so rare that it can happen, and it sounds so wonderful. Adds a certain element of intensity, which I think is just beautiful. Okay, next part, we're going to talk about a little bit about rehearsals. We're doing a couple of pieces in one ensemble, one of which is called Wilderness Scenes, which is a collection of 5 different movements representing Lewis and Clark's adventure into the West. Now this piece is a little bit easier, but we're also doing Lincoln Portrait, which is by Aaron Copland, which is, for those of you who are speaking grades, I think it's a grade 5.5. So it's very difficult, very challenging. When you're programming something that's that hard, you must also do something that's a little bit easier to kind of balance it out, which is exactly what we're doing. Now in rehearsals here, we have a lot of high school directors who are in the ensembles. Now this is wonderful because we have a wonderful kind of a source of amazing, wonderful musicians. I know I said wonderful 3 times or something, but it's because they're really good. You've got all these great musicians who are coming and playing in the ensemble. That does bring in some conflicts though, so we've got somebody who's the golf coach, someone who plays and works with the soccer team and the soccer club, and we've got parent-teacher conferences, and we've got parent-teacher conferences in a variety of different school districts. We've got spring break. So I always try to find out who's going to be at all the rehearsals in terms of the high school directors, because if I know that everyone's going to be gone, I can plan for that. Now this is really important because as you're doing a piece that's very, very, very difficult, you can figure out the sections where those players are very important. So for example, if I know that all the trombone section is going to be gone for 1 week, I can say, okay, we're going to skip this part and do these other parts instead. So it kind of has to do with rehearsal planning based on who's there and who you know is going to be there. So find out, if you're in this situation, we're doing kind of a event where there's a community kind of participation in your group, make sure you know when they're all coming. That way you can plan and you don't waste anybody's time. I've known that there are some groups where the director will just say, oh yeah, we'll just figure it out. The community members who are there every week will get really aggravated by that. So if you're a clarinet player and you're the director in front of you is like, oh, I don't know if we're going to have the trombones. It's just really aggravating, and they don't want to sit there and wait. So make sure you make the most of your rehearsal time, and you don't waste the other players' time that are coming all the time. So, all right, lastly, I just want to talk about what I call being in yes mode. And this has to do with gigs in the area. The first couple of years that you move anywhere, gigs are going to be really scarce. When I was living in Miami, I lived there for 5 years. I didn't play a single gig for 2 years. Nothing. And then my 3rd year, I played 1 gig, met all the right people, and then played every weekend after that for the next 3 years. So it's a matter of getting involved with the gig situation. When you first move to an area, you have to be in yes mode, which is saying yes to everything. You should see my April schedule. It is insane. I have 2 days off that I'm not playing a gig or teaching, which, as if you're a high school band director watching this, don't misunderstand. I know that this is like your schedule every week and every month. So, but that being set aside, for me, it's performing schedule. I'll be traveling a lot. I'm having guest artists come in. I'm playing at kind of jazz swing events, and I'm also doing Billings Symphony and a number of other. I'm doing a half recital with my guest artists, so things are really busy. The way to get called for more gigs is to say yes when you're first here. When someone calls you and they say, hey, yeah, we want you to come in and play for 3 hours, it's going to pay this amount of money and you get fed, you say, yes, I'll go. later on, you can say, no, no, thank you, or, oh, I can refer you to someone else if you don't feel like going to them. But you must go in your first couple of years of being in a place. Otherwise, if you say no too frequently, they're just not going to call you anymore. So that's my advice for gigging. We're just about out of time here. This is our special edition one. Yeah, special edition. 3 episodes of the vlog, and I will be here in just a couple of weeks to tell you about what all is new. So I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate you making it through this much of the video, and talk to you all soon. Bye.